You play this caveman named Joe, and basically this really evil caveman named Gork came to your village and he stole the crown of power, and now you're just like trying to get it back because that guy is really evil. And you like run really fast and you jump and you can like club stuff. One of the main like speed tech in this game is you can like jump up ropes, which is kind of like, that's a pretty common speed tech if there's like a lot of ropes in the game, like Donkey Kong Country 2. But this game doesn't have that much in the way of speed tech. It's just kind of like movement and fast-paced movement. And I've actually spent a decent amount of time trying to find glitches, but there's really like no glitches anywhere. There's like a couple of visual glitches, but like it's just really solidly coded. There's just like nothing. Also, I'm collecting these like stone circles. They're currency. They don't actually do anything. I might need to use them later in the game to like buy meat at the village if I'm low on health. But I shouldn't need those ever.
So why did this one sell so much less than the original Joe and Mac?
I'm not really sure. I think the original Joe and Mac like made it to so many different platforms, and it was in the arcades. And maybe this one just wasn't marketed at all. I have no clue. I like this game a lot better than the original Joe and Mac. But yeah, like whenever someone sees me playing this game, they're just like, oh yeah, Joe and Mac, I played the first one. And I'm like, did you play this one? They're like, I don't think so. And I find that to be like 90% of the responses I get to this game. Oh, another cool thing about this game is you have this attack called like the 7-way punch. That's just the name I made up for it. And the way to do it is you have to press 2 perpendicular D-pad inputs and the club swinging button all on the same frame, and there's no leeway whatsoever. So you have to do 3 inputs all in the same frame. And the best part is this attack doesn't even appear in the game's manual. So you probably, like if you played this as a kid, you would stumble on this attack as a kid, and you had like no idea what triggered it to happen. And like there was no information given to tell you why this attack happens or like that the attack even exists. So I figured out later when I revisit this game as a teenager that you have to do these inputs all in the same frame. So it's actually useful during one boss later on. Otherwise it's just like a fun thing to do. So this is our first boss, Stegosaurus. I gotta wait for this auto-scroller to finish. There's an auto-scroller in every level, don't worry. Alright, that was a decent fight. The third hit I kind of messed up, but not a big deal. So I get the first stone. You're trying to get 7 stones. I don't think the game really tells you why, but that's your goal right now. Just gonna get out of this village for now. Alright, so we went from like basic jungle level, now we're going to ice level, snow level.
This has a lot more platforming than the original Joe and Mac too.
The original Joe and Mac game, you mean?
Yeah. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like an action platformer, and then the original Joe and Mac is like an arcade style. It's like more a Ghosts and Goblins type game, I guess, because it's like you're running in a straight line, just like throwing a bunch of shit at a bunch of shit. Whereas this, like, you have to attack stuff in your way, and you only have like the limited club. Take damage there. There's no convenient way to get through there without taking damage. So this is cool. You gotta open this locked skeleton door, but the key for the door doesn't appear until you talk to the skeleton door. Like, it'll just never appear beforehand.
those spikes will hurt you on the sides of those logs.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely. Yeah, those aren't just there for show. So there's a cool thing about RTAing this game. Health carries over between levels, and you notice that you stop completely when you go to eat meat on the ground, which gives you health back. So when you're doing like record attempts of this game, you want to take as little damage as possible, but there are some situations where it's faster to take damage, and there are some spots in the game where there's meat during an auto-scroller. And you want to optimally just take the meat during all the auto-scrollers and not during any of the manual side-scrolling parts. This guy's really easy. Alright, we got snow level out of the way, then we got like jungle level number 2. You'll notice all these levels are just kind of like pretty cliche level environments, but it's cool because the core gameplay is really fun and good.
Yeah, everything feels pretty tight.
Yeah, everything's pretty tight. Like the graphics are good, the music's pretty good, I think. It's just like a solid game. There's just nothing like really super notable about it, so it doesn't get any attention from anyone. Also, there's a co-op mode. There's actually 2 co-op modes. One is just kind of like the basic co-op mode, where the players are working together to get to the end of the game, and then there's a super 2-player mode, where like the 2 players can like club each other, and then it'll make them recoil if you club the other person, and they're also like competing on 3 metrics for each level completed, and that's just kind of like wacky and fun. So this part's funny because like this giant pterodactyl will come and sweep you into the air, but like you barely have to do anything to not fall into the spikes. So yeah, Joe kind of gets impatient because like nothing's happening. I'll let you see his entire like not moving, I'm fucking bored animation. This boss has 3 patterns it can do. The optimal is to get the rock. Oh sh. The optimal is to get the rocks pattern first, and then get the one of the other 2 patterns. That boss fight was kind of bad, but it's not a big deal. I got bad RNG, and I messed up that 3rd phase. This is one of the harder levels. Easy to die in 1 hit if you don't know what you're doing that well.
Yeah, this one has a lot more pits compared to the
Yeah.
first few levels.
That's like the only rope I just won't jump up because it's really easy to like miss grabbing the top of the rope and then you just die if you don't do that. Alright, so here like this molten avalanche will like follow behind you, and if you don't get up there quickly enough, you'll just die in 1 hit. That's some visual glitch. I don't know what causes that. It just like happens sometimes for no reason. Like the flames appearing early before you drop down into the pit below. I do a calculated jump there to skip a little bit of the auto-scroller. It also gets the guy to like stomp way earlier than he normally would. But yeah, I love these auto-scrollers. They're a good breather. This guy's kind of tricky, but shouldn't be too much trouble. Yeah, he got me at the end there. Usually he just like hits you once for some stupid reason. Like he goes to a height that you won't, oh my god. How do I exit the level? I don't know why I re-entered the level. Alright. That was weird. I haven't done that before in a run. Oh, I should get this. So, there are a bunch of animal buddies that you can like ride, and then they will shoot their own little projectile. And they're usually really cool, and unfortunately they're just like really slow, so you won't see any of them in this run. But I highly recommend that if you play this game, you just like mess around with those as much as possible because they're really fun.
You don't have to talk to the door for that key compared to the
well, because the key was kind of just sitting out in the open.
Yeah.
For that door. The other one, it was like a mouse was carrying it. Oh, by the way, this is like one of the hardest sections in the game. It's super random, and there's like some pretty difficult inputs. Alright. Sometimes you can go from like 5 health to 0 health, just like through getting shit on by randomness. But that was pretty decent.
There's one without an auto-scroller leading to the boss. So
Right, but
nice.
the boss is the auto-scroller.
Oh, yeah.
So they had to put it in somewhere. It's a little hard to get all 3 hits on that second phase. So this fight will be a little slow compared to optimal. But not a huge deal. Whoops. So that was all the main levels, I think. Yeah. So now we have to go back to the town, get the 6th crystal from some random dude in the town. This guy. He just like has one. Take mine. I'm actually gonna get meat here because the Gork fight coming up is really random. Oh, I guess he can't give you meat. Never mind. I'm just gonna go into Gork. Yeah, I think he tells you, like, go back to the village, Gork's killing it, and he won't give you meat, even though, like, if you're at 1 HP, you're gonna fucking die to Gork. So this fight's really cheesy. Like, there's just one objectively good strategy, and you'll see what exactly it is. I was worried I'd die there. He can just like randomly break out of that lock. Even if you're executing perfectly, that can just happen. And it's one of the most annoying parts of running the game, seriously. So we're gonna get meat here because I'm at 1 HP. By the way, at this building, you can buy flowers to give to one of 3 ladies, and they're like standing behind curtains, so you only see their feet. And if you get lucky, like one of them will just agree to marry you. And then she'll go back to your hut in the Tiki Village. And then at that point, you can buy melons, and the melons will act as like an aphrodisiac, and they'll have a baby at some point after eating the melon. And then you can also decorate your hut. So this is some like cool proto dating sim stuff going on in this game. I took it kind of safe there because it's very easy to die. Those pterodactyls can appear in weird spots if you like mess up one little thing of that sequence. And I messed up something pretty early. But no death, that was pretty cool. And then we've got like a boss rush. They're pretty much the same as their previous incarnations, except their invincibility periods tend to be longer, depending on the boss. This one is the same invincibility period, and then like all the other ones have lengthier invincibility periods. One critical thing I didn't mention is that when there's a scene that's ending and the game wants to center Joe on the screen. Hold on. Okay. The game wants to center Joe on the screen. You want to be in the center of the screen when this process starts happening. And if you're not in the center of the screen or you're at the edge of the screen, then the game will just like slowly pan the screen so that Joe is at the center of the screen, and that wastes a lot of time.
How many runners does this game have?
I'm the only serious runner. I think Dellen did some run in 23 minutes a while ago. So 3 health is kind of iffy. Hopefully I don't get hit on either of the 2 next bosses, because you do fight Gork again twice, and the first of those 2 Gork encounters is also super cheesy RNG fight, and it's highly likely I'll die to it with this little health, but let's hope that that doesn't happen, because I've been deathless up to this point. This tail, by the way, has like a super janky hitbox. It just like doesn't hit you. Alright, we just got the Tyrannosaurus, and then we'll have the final 2 Gork fights. What is this low height? Ah! Yeah, this is looking bad. I gotta get really good luck to not die here. So, the strat with this fight is you want him to go into the corner, you hit him, then you run away and hope he jumps like this. Hopefully he gets into a loop like that. just gonna play this safe now. Ooh, okay. The final boss does have some randomness, but I should only die if I mess up. And he's actually kind of easier than the previous boss. All right.
Nice.
Damn. I wasn't expecting Deathless, honestly. Time will be coming up now.
Okay, so he started the timer late.
Okay.
So it says 2036, but it's probably...
All right. My record is 2016, so that was a really good run. Yeah.
Nice.
Woo!
Yeah, and I hope you enjoy that. This is one of my favorite childhood games. You know, there's not anything super notable about it, but I think it's a fun time. And it's fun for a co-op playthrough if you have someone else to play with. Hope you enjoyed watching.